Hey there! Welcome to today's video where we're diving deep into the world of effective communication. You know, in the hustle and bustle of life, being a good communicator can seem like just another thing on your to-do list. But trust me, it's one of the most valuable skills you can develop in your career, relationships, and everyday life. Think about it. How many times have you walked away from a conversation feeling like you weren't heard, or struggled to get your point across? It's frustrating, right? Hey there, have you ever struggled to get your point across? Or felt misunderstood in a conversation? You're not alone. But guess what? I'm here to help you improve your communication skills, and I'm going to make it easy for you. In this video, I'm sharing 5 simple yet powerful tips that can transform the way you communicate. Let's get started. Alright, let's kick things off with tip number 1, active listening. Now you might be thinking, wait, listening? I thought this was about talking better? And you'd be right, partly. But here's the thing, effective communication is a two-way street. It's not just about getting your message out there, it's about truly understanding the other person. Think about it. How does it feel when someone really listens to you, like really listens, without interrupting, judging, or planning their next sentence? It feels pretty good, right? It makes you feel valued, respected, and understood. That's the power of active listening. So, how do you actually do it? First off, put away the distractions. That means putting your phone on silent, face down people, closing your laptop, and giving the person your full attention. Next, focus on what they're saying, both verbally and non-verbally. Pay attention to their tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions. These cues often speak louder than words. And here's the key. Don't just hear their words, try to understand the meaning behind them. What are they really trying to communicate? What are their feelings and motivations? Ask clarifying questions to show that you're engaged and to make sure you're on the same page. Active listening is a skill that takes practice, but the payoff is huge. It strengthens your relationships, builds trust, and helps you avoid misunderstandings. Remember, communication is a two-way street, and active listening paves the way for smoother, more meaningful interactions. Alright, let's move on to tip number 2, which is all about clarity and conciseness. You know, sometimes we think that using big words or complex sentences makes us sound smarter or more sophisticated, but in reality, it often just confuses the other person. Think about it, have you ever listened to someone drone on, and by the end you're like, what was the point again? Yeah, we've all been there. The key to effective communication is to get your message across in a way that is clear, concise, and easy to understand. This means using simple language, avoiding jargon, and getting straight to the point. Here are a few tips to help you do just that. First, before you start talking, take a moment to organize your thoughts. What is the main message you want to convey? What are the key points you need to make? Once you have a clear idea of what you want to say, use short, simple sentences. Avoid using overly complex words or phrases when simpler ones will do. Remember, the goal is to communicate your message, not to impress people with your vocabulary. And finally, don't be afraid to use visuals to illustrate your point. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So, if you're trying to explain something complex, consider using a diagram, chart, or other visual aids to make your message more engaging and easier to understand. Alright, moving on to tip number 3, and this one's all about non-verbal communication. You know, we often focus so much on the words we say that we forget about the messages we send through our body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions. But here's the thing, non-verbal cues can actually have a bigger impact on how our message is received than the words themselves. They can convey confidence, enthusiasm, empathy, or even boredom and disinterest. So it's crucial to be mindful of the non-verbal signals you're sending. Let's start with body language. When you're talking to someone, make eye contact. It shows that you're engaged and interested in what they have to say. And don't forget to smile. A genuine smile can go a long way in building rapport. Next, pay attention to your posture. Stand or sit up straight and avoid crossing your arms, which can make you seem closed off or defensive. Instead, try keeping your arms open and relaxed, which signals openness and approachability. Now let's talk about tone of voice. Have you ever noticed how the same words can have completely different meanings depending on the tone of voice used? It's incredible. A warm, friendly tone can make people feel comfortable and at ease, while a harsh or aggressive tone can create tension and conflict. So try to speak in a calm, even tone, and be mindful of your volume. And lastly, let's not forget about facial expressions. Our faces are incredibly expressive, and they can convey a wide range of emotions. So, be aware of your facial expressions and make sure they're aligned with the message you're trying to convey. Alright, let's move on to tip number 4, which is all about asking questions and seeking clarification. Sometimes we're so afraid of sounding dumb or interrupting the other person that we just nod along, pretending to understand even when we don't. But here's the thing. Asking questions is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of intelligence. It shows that you're engaged, that you're paying attention, and that you're genuinely interested in understanding what the other person is saying. Think about it. Wouldn't you rather have someone ask you a question to clarify something they didn't understand than to just smile and nod along, pretending to get it when they really don't? So, the next time you're in a conversation and something isn't clear, don't be afraid to speak up and ask for clarification. You can say something like, "Hey, can you explain that again?" Or, "I'm not sure I follow, could you give me an example?" And here's a pro tip. When you ask a question, really listen to the answer. Don't just wait for your turn to speak again. Take the time to process what the other person is saying and to ask follow-up questions if needed. Alright, let's wrap things up with tip number 5, which is all about empathy and emotional intelligence. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in our own heads and to forget that other people have feelings too. But here's the thing. Empathy is crucial for effective communication. When you can understand and relate to the other person's perspective, even if you don't agree with it, you create a foundation of trust and respect. So, how can you cultivate more empathy in your communication? Well, it starts with being present and paying attention to the other person's nonverbal cues. What are their facial expressions telling you? What about their tone of voice and body language? Once you have a sense of how the other person might be feeling, try to put yourself in their shoes. Imagine what it would be like to be in their situation and to see the world from their perspective. And here's the key, don't judge. Even if you don't agree with the other person's perspective, try to understand where they're coming from. Remember, everyone has their own unique experiences and perspectives that shape how they see the world. When you approach communication with empathy and understanding, you create a safe space for open and honest dialogue. You build stronger relationships, resolve conflicts more effectively, and communicate in a way that is both meaningful and impactful. Thanks for watching. I hope you found these 5 tips helpful and that you're ready to level up your communication game. Remember, becoming a more effective communicator takes time and practice, but the rewards are well worth the effort. Want more communication tips? Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching. I hope these tips help you become a more confident and effective communicator. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for more tips on personal development. Like, share, subscribe, and follow for more content. See you next time. See you in the next video.